not really to look at issues today, but look at issues even before we got into this government. During the pre-campaign, pre-2022 election era, every leader, the two main principals who are competing for the presidency, were looking for anybody in Kenya who would facilitate them to become the president. In other words, they were trying to incorporate as many of the different, formations that there were as possible. To me, that is the initial effort towards inclusivity. If it were possible for these two to have talked that time before and agreed now we need to form a government, they would have formed a government like probably we have in Rwanda, or a government like we have in Uganda or in another place. The Kenyan Constitution is very, very clear. The Kenyan Constitution is praised as one of the most, progressive, advanced constitutions in Africa. But the Kenyan Constitution is not working. The reason being this: we are sub-units within the entire continuum. We do not promote what we call inclusivity, if I may use the word. But when it comes to political competition, there will be, as per the Constitution, a winner and a loser. The winner will form the government, and the winner, in the interpretation of the Constitution, will exercise inclusivity. But what has happened, practically, is that it has not been possible because we define our terms politically. We have taken polity to be the defining factor of everything. Development has to be politically defined. Even policies have to align to certain political inclinations and so on and so forth. So polity in Kenya is promoted, is the highest. It's actually the belief, the paradigm that basically defines everything. That being the case, we have seen what has happened since the formation of the current government. We have seen a lot of ulabalu. And then that led to the initial steps towards nationalism or bringing different factions together. And that is why there was the NADCO. The NADCO team came up with a NADCO report. This NADCO report spoke to the spirit of the signed accord now between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. Now, the NADCO report measured those issues not because they were not in the Constitution. They are very clearly articulated in the Constitution, but they have not been actioned. They have not been realized. Kenyans do not feel them because they align to their faction, they align to their leadership. We need to break these alignments so that we can have a Kenyan nation.
What is so different this time around with the MOU? These are
let me finish. I'm trying to address my issue. I'm coming to that. Now, if you look at the issues in the National Accord and the 10 issues that were formed on the basis of this coalition, I don't think there's any difference. It is just the same thing. The only thing that has been amplified is about inclusion of the youth or promotion of activities that target the youth. Let's go back to African democracy. Which country in Africa can we say has better democracy than Kenya? Which one? All the others have some form of relative levels of dictatorship. And that's why they have worked. So we do not want dictatorship here because everybody is free to say anything and do anything in this country because of the constitution that we have. That being the case, it is not possible to contain the whole in a form so that you can realize function. We must be able to have a workable formula to run a country. It is not easy for William Ruto to run a country when so many people are complaining out there. You waste the time trying to quell the complaints, trying to pacify the people. How do you pacify the people? These people are saying, we are seeing it differently. We can offer a solution to what we are seeing. What happened in May last year, in June last year, could never have happened if probably we were where we are today. Why? Because Kenyans probably would have felt they would have gotten the answers to the questions they raised. And they raised many questions. Now, the people in opposition then, or in the minority in the House, basically aligned with the other Kenyans in the misinterpretation of the finance bill, supported the view of the Kenyans in fighting this government to have inclusivity. And that was the issue. It was not really what happened last year was not because the government was not working. It was not because the government was not delivering. It was because of the interpretation of the delivery of the government itself. It was not sufficiently inclusive. We're not paying attention to the rule of law and constitutionalism, issues of equity, issues of peace, and all those things came in. So Kenyans actually almost fought because of that. We do not want to solve our problems through a civil war.
My concern now is how different will it be? The list of 10 things listed there, these are things Kenyans have had over and over.
Are you telling me that?
What is so different this time?
Now, let me answer your question.